Hello, this is Adam Woods with the weekly outlook for. Okay, there's not really a great deal of economic alerts that don't involve the US dollar next week, but we're going to go through the calendar anyway, because some of them we're going to be looking at things like the euro, the pound, the Aussie dollar, to see if those US dollar alerts are going to move the markets at all. Okay, so let's start with Monday at 3 p.m. We've got the US dollar, got the pending home sales month on month. Now this is expected to be lower than previous. So what I'm looking for here is possibly the euro and the pound to spike back up, which will give us a better opportunity to get in for sell positions. As you can see, we're on the euro here, and with a little bit of weakness coming through in the US dollar, possibly on the pending home sales, we might be able to get a spike back up to the previous support level here at 13454, where we could start to take sell positions on this. There is a 50% retracement line on here. If we take that from the top of that, the start of the trend, down to where it is at the moment, you can see that we've got the 50% around about the 13485 at the moment. So we could possibly get a spike as far as 13485. So this is the sort of thing that I'm going to be looking out for during these US dollar alerts. The same goes for the 13500 level as well. This was a serious level of support last week. Did eventually break through. So this is where I'll be looking for this to pull back to. This would be the ultimate price to get in for a sell at 13500. Okay, so looking at the pound as well, we just go to the pound chart there. You can see that the pound started to fall off the basis that we had these MPC unanimous votes last week to keep interest rates the same, and that's caused this to start to drop down to below the fair price of 17,000 at the moment. So what we're looking for is for this to drop all the way down to 16900, possibly 168. So these alerts that are coming out on the US dollar could also give us that opportunity to get into this for sells as well. As long as this stays below 17,000, I'll be taking sell positions. So pullbacks to the 17,000 level or thereabouts are going to be the best opportunities to get into that. So looking for a little bit of weak US data to start with, and then possibly some strength in the US later on in the week. Okay, so the next alert we've got is on Tuesday, again on the US dollar at 3 p.m, and it's the CB consumer confidence. Now this is expected to be slightly better, so hopefully we can use that poor data coming out on Monday to be able to get into the pound or the euro, and then use that good data that comes out on the Tuesday. It will start to push back down. We have got an alert out on the euro on Wednesday. This is all day. It's the German prelim CPI, expected to be lower than previous. German data hasn't been very good coming out lately, and as we saw, we've seen a big fall in the DAX on Friday last week. You can see where that came down from its recent resistance level at 9,800. I am expecting the DAX to drop right back down to 9,550. Didn't quite make it last week. It stopped at 9,600. So I would like to see that achieved this week, and then I could start buying that back. Overall, I'm still looking for this to rally back up to 10,000. So hopefully that euro alert on Wednesday might give us that opportunity. 1:15 on Wednesday, we've got the ADP non-farm employment change. Again on the US dollar, expected to be a bigger figure than the last time. So we could well see that strength in the US dollar again, and see the pushes down in things like the US dollar, so the euro US dollar, the pound US dollar, and the Aussie US dollar. So again, looking to try and get in there on those spikes up to the levels of 17,000 for the pound, up to the levels on the euro of around that 13,485 level, possibly 13,500. Okay, so moving on to Wednesday. We've got Wednesday afternoon. We've also got the advanced GDP quarter on quarter. This comes out just 15 minutes after the ADP non-farm employment change. So it's expected to be better than previous, quite a bit better. It was minus 2.9% last time. It's expected to be 3.1%. We have had good data coming out on the for the US, So this could be the one that really brings this pound, the euro, and possibly the Aussie dollar right back down to these support levels. Also on that same evening, we've got the FOMC statement. This one again, won't possibly looking to take trades on this, but just listening to what Janet Yellen says. If we've got that more hawkish view, then again we're going to see that US dollar strengthening and pulling it down slightly. Okay, and then on Thursday, a little bit more interesting. We've got the Aussie dollar at 2:30 a.m. This is the building approvals month on month. This is expected to be a lot lower than previous. Aussie dollar is in a bit of a neutral zone at the moment, and it's going to be kind of, I wouldn't say tricky to pick the trades, but what we need to get is either the base or the top of the channel. So it's trading between 9,500 right down to sort of 9,330 at the moment, with it being fairly neutral. And there is an update coming out in August on the Aussie dollar. Until then, we've got to kind of just sort of play it off the technical levels, which is going to be taking sells high up around about the 9,480 level, possibly the 9,500, and then taking buys when it's down at 9,330, depending on the data that comes out. Like I said, this is expected to be poorer, so we should see a drop in the Aussie dollar against the US dollar, but taking it for a sell where it is at the moment could be a little bit tricky. So we could be looking for spikes up to 9,420, maybe up to 9,445, depending on where the price is on that Thursday morning. So we have to keep an eye, keep a look at that, and obviously watch the emails, see what sort of price it has, and I'll send out the email on that day for a pending order for that one. Okay, moving on through Thursday, we've got CPI flash estimate year on year for the euro. Nothing's expected to change here, unless the data doesn't actually come out as suggested, which is the same. If it comes out lower, then we should get a further drop in the euro, especially as the US dollar is sort of driving the euro pair at the moment. If it comes out better than expected, then the euro could possibly pull back to the 13500 level again. So we'll be looking at listening to the news feed on that one, and probably getting in after the announcement. 1:30 on the CAD. We've actually got GDP month on month. Fairly important, this one. Is expected to be better than previous. And we've still got that same situation going on with the Canadian dollar, where the monetary policy is suggesting that the economy isn't quite as good as it could be, yet traders have been keeping the market coming in favour of the Canadian. It wasn't until Friday that we just got this spike up here, and it's just started to show that the market's actually giving in to the monetary policy of the BOC. So what will probably happen here is we'll get this GDP come out. If it is better than expected, which it is better than previous, which is what it's expected to be, I would start taking sells on this again. Round if we can get up to the 108, 109 level, 108.50, sorry, 109, then I'll definitely start to take sales on this, probably before that alert comes out. Okay, moving on, US dollar at the same time, we've got unemployment claims expected to be higher than previous. A little bit hard to judge whether this is going to come out higher or not, because we have had good unemployment data come from the US recently, and obviously we've got the non-farm payroll coming out on Friday, so we'll probably just be watching that. It's going to come out at the same time with the Canadian dollar as well, so if it does show a slightly higher figure, then it's only going to aid that Canadian coming down a lot quicker as well. So we'll just be looking at the Canadian data really. Friday the 1st of August, we've got the Chinese manufacturing PMI, expect to be better than previous. We could get a spike on the Aussie on this, so if still in the Aussie trade for a sell, be prepared for this to pull back. We've also got 230 PPI quarter on quarter on the Aussie. Now this is supposed to be poorer as well, so quite a unique situation going on here. We've got a manufacturing PMI on China, which will probably cause the Aussie to spike up, and then we've got Aussie data, PPI data coming out, which is expected to be poorer. So we can use that situation here to try and get into that Aussie at a decent price. So let's for instance, let's say the Aussie's around about 9,400 by Friday morning. we could be looking for a spike into 9,440 and then for it to drop back down to 9,350 at 230. Again, this is going to depend on where the price is at that time. So we'll be looking for sort of sell entries around about 9,440, 9,450, unless the price is much above that, and then we'll begin looking for the next support up about 9,500 for sells. Okay, moving on to Friday, we've got 4:30. We've got BOJ, Governor Kuroda speaks at 4:30 a.m. again. Japanese yen has just started to rally back up to that 102 level, which we've been waiting to happen for quite a while. It is very geopolitical dependent, so obviously it's a safe haven currency. If things go on in Ukraine, or if anything particular comes out on the news, then we could well see this pull right back down to 101 again. So it is a bullish currency pair at the moment, but I would be taking it with caution, and I would be taking it on the dips. 9:30 a.m. on Friday, we've got manufacturing PMI on the pound. This is expected to be slightly weaker. Again, the data has been coming out a little bit weaker on the pound recently, so I would just be expecting this to drop a little bit further down. If we're not already in the trade, then again, I'll be looking to try and get in around about the 17,000 level as close to as possible. So at the moment, we just sat around that 16,975. Be looking for it to come back up to the 17,000 and then drop back down. 1:30, we've got non-farm employment change and unemployment rate. Okay, so it's the big alert for the month. Expected to be lower than previous, but the previous one was a very, very good report. Okay, it was excellent data for the US dollar. So one that's slightly lower doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to it's going to cause pairs like the pound, the euro, the Aussie to start rallying up. Of course, we'll probably get some spikes, but I think we'll just end up coming back down to the same sort of price that they were at before the alert. Okay, so be prepared if you're going to if the data comes out worse than expected. Prepare for spikes up on those three major currency pairs, but be prepared to take profit. Okay, I don't think it will be a continued rally. Unemployment rate, the same sort of thing, out at the same sort of time. And then at 3 p.m. we've got the ISM manufacturing PMI. This is actually expected to be better than previous. So again, we could cause that spike that we had up at 1:30 could just come back down again, driven by that 3 o'clock alert. Okay, so that's it for the weekly outlook. If you've got any questions, then obviously you can email support and they can pass them on to myself. I will see you in the live room if you're a live room subscriber, and we can go through these a little bit more. But look out for the email alerts, because I'll be basing my email alert trades on what's going on in off the economic calendar throughout the week. Okay, thank you for watching.